Ella.
I look at the man I thought I fell for, and all I see is the monster I tried to run away from. You're right, though, I say, scoffing and struggling to maintain composure after those words. I didn't hate Jay, a figment of your twisted imagination. You, Roman, I loathe. I will never forgive you for what you did to me. I don't need your forgiveness, he says, his voice colder than I've ever heard it. You can hate me all you want. Be my wife, bear my children, and open your legs when needed and satisfy me. That's all I require. His words feel like they physically assault me. Disbelief, rage, and humiliation are all vying for my attention and overwhelming me. He's stripping away the romanticism from our relationship and turning it into a business transaction. I will never be your Luna, or your wife, I say, locking eyes with him. It's a futile attempt to break through his icy exterior, but I can't stop myself. He sighs and moves away from me. I think you misunderstand the situation, Ella. You don't have a fucking choice in the matter. Don't I have a say in my own life? I snap. I know it's risky to reveal emotion, but it's like a kettle on the stove and I can't hold the steam in any longer. Your say ended the moment you ran away from your duties. He replies, unflinchingly. If you had come willingly, I would have let you live your life. But you chose the hard way, and now you need to suffer the consequences. Ran away? My voice quivers. I ran away to live. Something you wouldn't understand, living in this cold mansion of yours. The reasons don't matter. You'll fulfill your role, regardless. I can't believe how cold he's being. How can he just go from Jay to this unfeeling beast? My role, I repeat bitterly. So, this is it for me, huh? A beautiful room where I get to play pretend, living a life I never chose? You chose it the moment you were born into this world, into your father's pack. That happened by chance, not by choice. Semantics, he retorts, waving his hand dismissively. You'll do as you're told. I did as I was told, and look where it got me. Here, with you, under duress. Tell me, is this how you pictured married life? Roman takes a moment, his eyes piercing through me. For a split second, I see something flicker in his eyes. I picture many things, Ella. Some of them don't include you. Our impending marriage is a matter of necessity, not desire. The way he says my name, it's devoid of affection, stripped of the intimacy it used to carry when he'd whispered it in my ear. In that moment, everything I believed about us crumbles to dust. Jay was never real. It was always Roman, always a game, a ruse, a lie so elaborate and well-crafted that it fooled me completely. And I can't believe I fell for it. That hits me harder than I want to admit. You know what, Roman? That's where you're wrong. This. I wave my hand around the room, isn't necessary. It's a power play. And you don't want a Luna. You want a pawn. I remember our conversations, the vulnerability he showed me, the warmth. You told me you were afraid letting me in would destroy me. I say, unable to mask the quiver in my voice. Were you afraid, or was that just another line from the J playbook? He pauses, regarding me carefully. Again, those words were spoken by Jay. A person I had to become. They don't pertain to the reality we're in. Stop making me out to be something I am not. So you admit it. You were playing a role, and those moments, those words, they meant nothing? Those words were a necessity, not a reality, and I suggest you forget them. I can feel my chest tighten and sense he's getting angrier. And when you told me that some truths do more damage than lies? Was that just another act? That, he says, leaning in closer, his voice icy, was a warning. One you failed to heed, clearly. Or maybe it was a prophecy. I counter. Because this truth, the truth that you lied to me at every turn, does more damage than any lie you could have told. He seems almost pleased at my response. Then perhaps you should have listened more closely. I'm struggling to keep it together, to not let him see how deeply he's wounded me. Roman! Ella, stop this. He growls, shutting me up. You are not going to get the answer you want out of me. Jay never existed. Anything I said while pretending to be him was a lie to get you to let me in so I could complete a mission. I suck in a breath. So, I was just a mission to you? You are a duty, a responsibility, something that belongs to this pack and therefore to me. He replies. Well, congratulations on completing your mission. You win, I say, crossing my arms. You broke through my defenses, and here I am, a responsibility, a duty. Is this the part where I thank you? His jaw clenches. There's no need for thanks when you're merely an obligation. Obligations, I mutter, almost choking on the word. You had me fooled, Roman. I thought you were different. But you're just like every other man who's wielded power like a weapon, careless and cold. His eyes narrow. Carelessness leads to mistakes, and mistakes in my position are fatal. You'd do well to remember that. I don't care about your position, your power, or whatever else you think makes you important, I say, my voice shaky but determined. All I care about is the fact that you made me believe in a lie. You made me believe in you. He smirks and I can't help the fury that bubbles over. I step toward him and lift my hand to strike his face, but he grabs my forearm, twists me around and slams my back into his chest. I try to wriggle out of his embrace, but it's like trying to slip out of a python's grip. Roman! I exclaim. Let go of me! He chuckles in my ear, and it sends a cold shiver up my spine. Ah, finally you're screaming my name. Careful, Aella, it's getting my cock hard. You're a fucking monster. Let go of me, you sick bastard. He laughs again, a deep, guttural laugh that pierces my heart with its coldness. I made you believe me? That's on you, little bird. You believed because you wanted to, not because you had to. I didn't hold a fucking gun to your head and beg you to let me in. Your own pathetic neediness did that. With nothing left to say, he lets me go and gently pushes me away. You have 1 week to make your peace with this. After that, you won't have the luxury of debate. The room grows colder with his responses, each syllable a shard of ice piercing through the remnants of what I believe to be love. It is a painful, clear sign of the growing divide between us. And I can do nothing but accept my fate. As you wish, Alpha, I respond, acid dripping from each word. He eyes me sharply, as if daring me to continue defying him, before turning abruptly and exiting the room. I sink into the bed, a hollow feeling settling in the pit of my stomach. My tears are hot against my cheeks, burning tracks of humiliation and outrage. But mixed with those feelings is a sense of resolution hardening within me like cooling molten steel. Roman may think he's won, but the game has just begun. And in this high-stakes game of wills, I have nothing left to lose. I will be the wife he demands in name only, and while he may control many aspects of my life, my thoughts and my feelings are mine alone. He's taken so much from me, but I won't let him take my self-respect. Not again. I may be his in-law and duty soon, but I will never be his in spirit. My hatred for him will be the armor that shields me, the fire that sustains me, as I navigate this new hell I find myself in. I thought I was smarter than this. I thought I was stronger, and I thought that he, of all people, was my safe space. I can't believe I let him get under my skin, that I let him see me, the real me, not just the facade I'd put up for the rest of the world. And now, what? We're going to play house? He expects me to be his obedient Luna? I scoff at the thought, realizing now why he calls me little bird. He had every intention of clipping my wings.
Roman.
The moment I stepped into my office, I could sense that my carefully constructed facade of control was beginning to crumble. Despite my best guards watching Aella, my insides were still filled with restless anger. I sit back in my leather chair, staring at the mahogany desk that's seen better days. It's cluttered with maps, reports, and my damn laptop, all screaming at me that I've done what I set out to do. I got Aella back. Esteban is locked up, waiting for his inevitable fate. The mission is complete, but sitting here, in this room, I've never felt more incomplete. And that realization is the most crippling of all. I grind my teeth, annoyed at myself. I've been leading this pack since I was barely out of my teens, made hard calls, calls that would make a lesser man crumble. But here I am, second-guessing every choice that led me to this moment. And it's not the mission, it's her. It's always been her. I drum my fingers on the table, each tap sending a jolt through me, like I'm trying to wake myself up from a bad dream. But it's not a dream, it's a bloody mess of reality. I think about how Ella looked when she woke up, so damn relieved, like she was coming home. And I crushed that within seconds because that's what I do, I break things, sometimes beyond repair. Why did I even go with the J disguise? To get close to her, to understand her, and to bring her back. All checkboxes ticked, but at what cost? She opened up to Jay in ways she never will with Roman. So, who is she really in love with? And what does that make me? A victor or a fraud? I leaned forward, pressing my forehead against my fists and breathing out a strained sigh. For a fleeting moment, I let myself think the unthinkable. What if I let her go? But as quickly as it comes, I push it away. I can't afford thoughts like that. I have a pack to lead, an image to maintain. Sentiments are luxuries I can't indulge in. I had a plan. God, did I have a plan? Every angle was considered, every outcome predicted and prepared for. And yet, now that I've achieved what I set out to do, now that Ella is here, in my home, about to be reintegrated into my life and my pack, I feel like I've failed. The mission is technically over, so why does it feel like I've lost? I clench my fists, frustrated at my own confusion. Since when did Roman Nikolaev ever doubt himself? Since when did achieving his objective lead to such disarray? My eyes fall on one of the files, the one labeled Ella. Opening it, I see her picture clipped to the first page. Her eyes, even in a static image, are vibrant, full of life and fire. I remember the first time I met her, I saw those eyes and knew she was going to be trouble. The kind of trouble I thought I wanted, the kind of trouble I planned for. But nothing prepared me for this. My phone buzzes, snapping me out of my thoughts. It's a reminder about the arrangements for the wedding. A week from now, she will be my wife, my Luna. The screen asks for a confirmation, but my thumb hovers over it, frozen. What am I doing? The door swings open, and Caden walks in, but even before he speaks, I already know what he'll say. Because failure has a way of piling up, doesn't it? And for the first time, I question not just the choices I've made but the man who made them. Esteban's still not talking, he says, dispensing with any formalities. The grip on my fists tightens to the point of pain. Then maybe it's time we made him. I snap, shoving away from the desk. Every step toward the basement fuels my mounting fury, a fury no longer solely directed at Esteban, but at myself, for losing control, for jeopardizing everything with Ella. I had a plan, damn it, a plan that didn't involve emotional entanglements. When I walk into the dimly lit room, my eyes immediately lock onto the fucker, chained and bruised. Something primal within me rejoices at his vulnerability. Start talking, or I swear to God, you'll wish you were never born. Esteban's eyes flicker, but he stays silent, fueling my anger even more. With a roar, I unleash my rage on him, striking his face with my fists, the dull thuds of each blow reverberating in my ears, as I witness the never-ending cycle of his bones shattering and mending themselves. I can't stop now, even though I know killing our only lead could leave us back at square one. Growling in frustration, I walk toward the tool bench and reach for a set of pliers, my hand trembling in a way it hasn't in years. But before I can make my next move, Caden's hand clasps onto my shoulder, his grip surprisingly strong. "Ro," he warns, locking eyes with me as he senses my anger. His voice is uncharacteristically stern, and it jolts me back to reality. "Let go of me, Cade." I hiss, but the words sound hollow even to me. "No," Caden replies, holding his ground. "You're losing it, Roman. You need to keep it together. For the pack. For her." I recoil as if he slapped me. "Don't you dare bring her into this. She's already in this, whether you like it or not. And you, losing control like this, that's not going to help her or us." I turn toward him, teeth gritted, ready to lash out, but I hold back at the last second. He's right, and we both know it. With a sudden movement, I break away from him, and the sound of the pliers hitting the table resonates through the chamber's cold walls. Ella's face, filled with disappointment and sorrow, haunts me every time I try to suppress the explosive mix of emotions, fury, frustration, and regret and the way it threatens to erupt inside me. You think I don't know that? I seethe, my words as cold as the ice that's failing to encase my emotions. We have other ways to make him talk, but right now, you're not in the state to do this, Caden says, locking eyes with me in a moment of unwavering frankness. For the first time, I let his words sink in. I'm not myself, and it scares me. The tightrope I've been walking, between Roman the Alpha and Jay, the one she fell for, is fraying, and I'm about to fall. I need to clear my head, I mutter, taking one last glance at Esteban before turning to Caden. Keep working on him. We need to know who he's been reporting to. Will do, Caden nods, his face still etched with concern. But I don't have time to reassure him, I barely know how to reassure myself. As I exit the basement, I can't shake off the heavy realization that hangs over me. Ella has become my most glaring blind spot, and the treacherous path I've started down with her threatens to unravel not just my plans, but my very sense of self. I can't afford that, not when the lives of my pack are depending on me being the alpha I've always been. Even if it costs me the only thing I never knew I wanted until it was too late. I stride into my office, the door closing behind me with a muted click that does little to settle the storm in my head. I've barely settled behind the desk when Caden walks in. His face is somber, a reflection of my own turmoil, perhaps. Turning away from him, my gaze fell on a small CCTV screen showing different rooms in the pack house. One of them is Ella's. She's sitting on the bed, her face in her hands. Even from this angle, I can sense her despair, her utter hopelessness, and it magnifies my internal chaos tenfold. In the world of pack politics, criminal threats, and territorial negotiations, I have been a master strategist for years, staying ahead of my opponents. But when it comes to her, all those years of training and experience crumble into nothingness. I wanted to bring her back to protect her, to ensure she played the role she was destined for. Until now, she's been a goal, an endgame, never a question mark. But somewhere along the way, my intentions got muddled, complicated by emotions I didn't invite and didn't fully understand. I never intended to care for her beyond the responsibility of an alpha to his Luna. And yet, here I am, spiraling into a dangerous territory where every thought, every decision, every action is tainted by a vulnerability I never knew I had. I watch her for a moment longer before forcing myself to look away. I can't afford this weakness, not when there's so much at stake. Can we trace Esteban back to anyone? See how long he's been worming his way into Ella's life? Caden nods. The reports are taking long to get back to us, but I'm on it, he says, and I can already sense the question on his lips. Don't. I start, glaring at him because he knows me better than anyone else. Don't even fucking start. He sighs and takes a seat opposite me, eyeing me with that look of sympathy, and I fucking hate it. I won't, but just know I'm here if you do want to talk, bro. I look at my eldest brother, the one who should have been alpha if he was born with this gene, and for the first time in my life, I feel jealous of him. He doesn't have this curse, to make decisions others are too scared to make, to kill without remorse. He has the dark hair of our mother, while I am the complete mirror of our father, the man who used to be my role model. I wonder if he's ever had to grapple with emotions like these. It's a pity he's dead, because now I don't have the counsel of another alpha. I sit back in my chair, gripping the armrests until my knuckles turn white. I've always thrived on control, always had it, but now I'm spiraling. And every turn drags me further away from the calculated alpha and dangerously close to the emotional territory I've so long avoided. I'm fine. I lie and end off the conversation about my feelings by going into the alpha's guest list for next week. It's a distraction, but one I welcome because I don't want to face the question that's been haunting me. What the hell do I do now?
Ella.
Today is supposed to be one of the happiest days of my life, or so the seamstress tells me as she flits around me like a fairy godmother, making sure the wedding dress fits perfectly. I'm standing in front of the floor-length mirror, and for a second, I can appreciate the artistry of the gown, its intricate lace, the delicate beadwork, and the soft glow of the ivory fabric. You look absolutely stunning, my Luna-to-be. The seamstress gushes, stepping back to admire her handiwork. I'll give you a few moments to yourself. With that, she sweeps out of the room, leaving me alone with my reflection. It's a beautiful dress, a masterpiece really, but it's for a life I never chose. The soft fabric clings to my body, adorned with intricate lace designs that seem almost too beautiful for this moment, too pure for what it's about to signify. I stare at myself, noticing how much of a stranger I look like now. For 2 years, I had my blonde dyed black. But that color has been stripped, so I'm back to being blonde-haired, weird-eye color Ayala. As I exhale a deep breath, my hands start shaking uncontrollably, and I stare down at them in frustration. However, when I lift my gaze, my heart plummets. Leaning against the door jamb, Roman looks back at me from the mirror, his arms folded and a smirk on his face. His eyes immediately find mine and I tense, my muscles constricting as if preparing for impact. I guess you don't believe it's bad luck for the groom to see the bride in her wedding dress, I say, my voice dripping with sarcasm. Bad luck? He raises an eyebrow as he slowly saunters in, his reflection coming closer in the mirror until it fills my line of sight. Old wives' tales don't govern my actions, what difference does it make when we've already had our share of misfortunes? His voice drips with that infuriating sarcasm that was once endearing when he was Jay. But Jay is a ghost now, a ghost I wish I could exorcise from my memory. Apparently not enough to deter you from walking in uninvited, I retort, still looking at his reflection. His eyes meet mine in the mirror as he strolls up behind me, and I can feel my heart skip a beat. His eyes narrow for a split second, but he quickly masks his emotions with a cool, detached expression. What's the matter, Ayala? You look like someone killed your pet goldfish. I thought you'd be pleased. Most women dream of a dress like this. I scoff. Most women dream of a love that's real. A dress doesn't make up for the heartbreak, I say, then I sigh. I'm emotionally drained, Roman. I've cried all my tears, screamed all my screams. You've bled me dry. And yet, here you stand, he says, his eyes still locked onto mine. Life goes on, doesn't it? I feel my lips pull into a bitter smile. Does it? He ignores me and places his hands in the pockets of his pants, his gaze never leaving mine through the mirror. Let's drop the pleasantries, shall we? You look miserable. And you look deluded if you think I'd be anything but miserable, I reply. In that fleeting moment when our eyes meet in the mirror, I catch a glimpse of the man I wish he still was. But it vanishes almost immediately. I call him deluded, and yet here I am, still mentally begging for Jay to come back instead of this unfeeling monster. You mistake my silence for compliance, I say, finally tearing my eyes away from his reflection. Don't get too comfortable, Alpha. You might yet find that I'm full of surprises. He remains quiet as he stares at me and, for a moment, I wonder if I've gone too far. But then he laughs, a short, sharp sound that feels like a slap. Ah, my feisty little bird. So eager to spread her wings and fly. But don't forget, you're in my cage now. I might be in your cage, but I'll never sing for you. He leans in closer to my shoulder, his breath warm against my ear. Oh, you'll sing, Ayala. Even a caged bird sings, eventually, but you do look stunning, though. Maybe this will be a good match after all. Are we now judging the quality of a relationship by how good the bride looks in her dress? I say, not in the mood, nor do I have the energy for another heated argument. Well, aesthetics are important, he retorts. Makes the whole arranged marriage thing more palatable, don't you think? My eyes lock onto his reflection. There's not enough beauty in the world to make what you've done palatable. With a deep exhale, he moves closer, and I can feel the heat emanating from his body as his fingers brush against the delicate lace on my sleeve. You look stunning, Ayala, but you always do. I'd rather look ugly and be free than be a beautiful captive, I retort way too quickly. A captivating captive nonetheless, he smirks, tracing a path along my arm. As I stand there, a shiver shoots up my spine, leaving me feeling conflicted between my desire for his touch and my disgust towards it. Stop it. Just stop touching me, I whisper, unable to mask the fragility in my voice. His hand retracts as though he's touched a live wire. His eyes search mine, and for a moment, just a fleeting moment, I think I see a flicker of, what? Regret? Pain? Letting out a heavy sigh, he positions himself next to me. What do you want me to say, Ella? That I'm sorry? Will that fix everything? I close my eyes for a moment, taking a deep breath. It might be a good place to start. But it will never fix what's already broken. He looks at me then, and his eyes are a frigid landscape I can't navigate. You know, you're right. Sorry is just a word. It doesn't change facts. And the fact is, you're here, in that dress, because you have responsibilities you can't run away from. I feel my eyes moisten, but I've cried all my tears. I'm drained. You say responsibilities as if I'm an errand on your to-do list. Maybe that's all we've been reduced to, he says, his voice almost softening. Tasks on a list that need to be checked off. Is that how you really see this? I can't help but ask, my voice barely a whisper. He shrugs. Sometimes, life doesn't give us the luxury of romance and happy endings. We play the cards we're dealt. I turn to face him, my fingers clutching the fabric of my dress tightly. But that's just it. I never asked for these cards. You dealt them, and now I have to play a losing hand. I can feel the tension rising as he takes a step closer and I step back, his eyes darkening with every move. Then maybe it's time you start bluffing, little bird. It's a challenge, a provocation, and I meet it head on. Bluffing would imply that there's something left to win. I notice a subtle change in his expression, a flicker of vulnerability that quickly disappears. Maybe it's not about winning, Ella. Maybe it's about surviving. There are many ways to survive. I look away, my eyes falling on the embroidered details of the dress. You should know that better than anyone. I do. That's why I know you'll make a perfect Luna, in time. You're a survivor, he says, but his voice lacks the confidence it once held. I look up at him, my eyes locking onto his. Don't mistake my survival instincts for compliance. The wolf inside me might be forced to obey, but the woman won't. He takes another step closer and leans down, his face inches from mine. And what does the woman want? As I try to compose myself, a tear breaks free and runs down my cheek, betraying my efforts to remain strong. The woman wants a life she can't have. She wants choices, freedom, love, all the things you can't give her. His eyes bore into me, silently considering what I had just said. I feel his fingers brush against my skin as he wipes away my tears and then cradles my cheek. The air around us seems to vibrate with tension as we share a prolonged stare that neither of us can break. For a split second, I don't see Alpha Roman. I see the man who used to make me laugh and question my apprehensions. I see the man who used to make me feel safe, the man who took me to an art gallery because I once mentioned that I loved to paint. But somehow I come back to my senses and put my hands on his chest, pushing him backward. You don't get to touch me like that anymore, you don't get to pretend you care about me. His lips are a thin line as he regards me with an unreadable expression, and honestly I just wish he'd leave already. So, what's the plan? I ask when he just continues to stare at me. Do I live in this room until you parade me down the aisle like a prized lamb? He doesn't respond immediately. Instead, he steps back and takes a long, hard look at me. No, you're free to move around the mansion, interact with anyone you wish. But don't think about running. You won't get far. I laugh, a hollow, joyless laugh. Why would I? I've already seen the man behind the curtain. What's left to be scared of? That's your problem, Ella. You underestimate the depths people can sink to when pushed. Even me. Even you? I think I've gotten the measure of you pretty accurately. Have you? He says, pulling away, his eyes clouded with something I can't quite read before turning towards the door. I'll see you at dinner. It's a formal occasion, so wear something suitable. 1 week, Ella. Make your peace with our future. Planning to, I say, as he turns and leaves the room, his departing words hanging heavy in the air. He exits the room, leaving me alone with my reflection, with the burden of my unchosen life wrapped around me like this suffocating dress. 1 week to make peace with a lifetime of servitude. As I stand here in this wedding dress, a bitter trophy of Roman's victory and my defeat, I make a silent vow to myself, a different kind of wedding vow. I vow to play the part he's scripted for me, the dutiful wife and obedient Luna. But every line I recite, every smile I fake, will be a lie that serves my own secret mission. I might be Roman's wife in name, his Luna in duty, but he'll never have my soul. And if I have to spend every waking moment reminding him of that, so be it. He wants a wife, a Luna, a pretty bird to put in a cage? Fine. But he should be careful what he wishes for. 1 week, he said. 1 week until our wedding day. And that gives me 1 week to plan, to strategize, to prepare for the next chapter in this twisted game of ours. I will not go down without a fight. The room is silent but for the distant echoes of my beating heart. My hands ball into fists at my side as I feel tears prickling at the corners of my eyes. My tears finally break free, rolling down my cheeks and soaking the pristine fabric. Let them come. They're the last remnants of the old me, the girl Roman broke. As they fall, they're replaced by something new, something hard and unbreakable. I dry my eyes and look at my reflection again, my gaze sharper, more focused than before. The game has just begun, and I'm done being a pawn. I carefully remove the dress, hanging it back on its stand as if it's a relic of a life I'm leaving behind. I change into my regular clothes, my armor against the world Roman wants to trap me in. If Roman ever discovers the woman he tried to break is unbreakable, well then, let the chips fall where they may. I'm ready for the next move. And this time, I'm playing to win.